9, 10. Okay, so that's everything we need to build the oil pump itself. And, oh yeah, I forgot I had a couple of hard drives. We can throw those in here. And we can start those processing. Haven't found any supercomputers. I wonder if I have to build one of those. We can only do one of these at a time. I will leave the other one here. Oh, well, there's no room for it. There's no room for it at all. There's room for that, though. Throw that in here. Do we have any other random objects that we can leave behind? Oh, you know what? All of this. Still haven't found any bacon agoric. There we go. Get the inventory a little bit more cleared out. What I was going to say is, what can we do with the oil that we pull out of there? Like, surely, can you do anything with it before it's refined? Okay, so oil refinery. What does that do? Crafts crude oil into other parts. Can be automated by feeding parts into it with a conveyor belt connected to the input. The produced parts can be automatically extracted by connecting a conveyor belt to the output. So here's my question is, the oil refinery is necessary to make oil products, presumably things like plastics and whatnots. But what about power? Do we not have that yet? What do we have to get to make power out of oil? Which one of those unlocks? Because I was thinking we could just put a couple of those down over there too and have oil being produced. But is that something we have to unlock? Caterium electronics? Rifle, industrial. I thought that would just be like right out the gate one of the things that we had. Power infrastructure. So we have to have computers. So we have to have plastic. Dadgummit. We gotta get plastic before we can use oil. Because I was just going to throw down a couple of fuel generators over there. So does that mean I've got to get the oil back to here? Oh my gosh. That's... Okay, you know what? I'm not going to build a huge conveyor belt right now. Not yet, at least. What I can do is... Or should I just build a massive conveyor? Well, we got to get a monorail to bring it all back. But in order to get a monorail, we have to have computers, which means we have to... Let's just throw down some sort of storage device over there. That's what we'll do. And yeah, we'll just do some manual crafting for a bit, sort of like we're doing with the Caterium. Storage, that's going to be under logistics? No, it's going to be under organization. Industrial storage, click one of those over there. We'll get those materials, and we'll build one of these, and it'll all be hunky-dory. Now the question is, how am I going to run power? Am I going to do it along the road here, or am I going to do it along the land? Because previously I did it along the land with the last one for no real reason. It really was just arbitrary, completely and utterly arbitrary. But do I want to do that again? Might be easier to do if I already had a jetpack and I could just kind of fly around. Be safer that way too. I mean, why would I go through the effort of running it through the jungle? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Gosh darn it, I'm going to though, aren't I? I find it really interesting how some of these things look from a distance. Like our little... our bridge looks ridiculous. I did decide to run the oil. Or the power along the... I don't know why I'm not running it along the bridge. It would make so much more sense to run along the bridge, but some part of me just feels like I should leave the bridge open for other things. And if their power poles are in the way... I mean, it hasn't been a problem with the big bridge that we built to Sulfur. But, I don't know. I also get, a better feel for the land when I do it like this. When I kind of build it along like so. Is that going to, like, touch... I don't want it to cut through the ground. Is that going to cut through the ground? It is a little bit. It doesn't hurt it. It's just, aesthetically speaking, I find it to be... I don't like that. I find it to be less than desirable to do it like that. So here we go. Bring it to here first. I like to have them run along the ground. Something about it just appeals to me. I'd like to get up there and run it up there, but I don't have a jetpack or any way to actually do that. So we'll just continue to run it along the beach here. I expect the beach is going to be full of horrible monsters trying to kill me. That's what I expect to be down here, so this is going to be the fun part. So far, I've gotten through the forest basically unscathed. Also, again, just taking this route along the edge here is just sort of reiterating that we're not really all that far away from the base. Maybe the map isn't quite as big as I seem to think that it is, because we're already pretty close to the islands. I can't see them from here, but I can kind of see where my bridge is going. So... the map, it's not all that huge. Now, I know there were some bad guys on the beach down here. There they are. We should take care of these guys now before we get up to them when we're trying to place down power lines while being attacked. So, whoever comes for me first, I guess is going to get it first. What did we determine it was? 3 shots for these guys? So that's 1 each. 2... 3, that one should be down. This guy is not bothered by the sight of his dead comrade. He's still coming for me. Oh, and he's got moves. Did you see those sick dodges? Yeah. That's how it always ends. How far am I? How far am I from my island? I think these are the fake islands. Didn't we find some fake islands that gave me a false sense of hope? Or maybe they are the real islands. It's before we reach those things, I think. I can't remember. Let's do a scan real fast for oil and figure out where we need to be. I think... Right? Okay, so it is further that way. I'm not crazy. These are the false islands, the false oil islands. They give you hope for sweet, sweet Texas tea. And then they deliver nothing in the end, but tragedy. Ooh, this place looks cool. Look at this, with the waterfalls and everything, and the slugs. Okay, might need to go investigate that when we have a jetpack. That's what this is all leading up to, my friends. All of this nonsense to get the oil is all leading up to a time in which we will have jetpacks. And future projects like this will be a lot easier. I can't quite get up there. Let's go ahead and get this thing placed down. So we're going to build our... Is it going to be under... production? Yes! We're going to build an oil pump. I'm going to slap that baby right down here. How do we want to orient this? So we got plenty of room. We'll face it that direction. And that'll fire up once we get some power running to it. And then I guess probably right out here in front of it, this is where we're going to want to build the big old industrial storage device. I thought we were going to have to deal with like a whole new material type. I didn't realize, like in my mind, this was going to start pumping out fluid, and we'd have to have some sort of tanks to store it in or something like that. But apparently, no, that's not how this works. It's just going to be, is it going to be in like oil drums? Is that what it's going to end up being? Probably so. So we'll get that set up, and then we need to grab our conveyor belt tier 3. I don't know if we really need tier 3s. I don't know how fast this thing's going to be, but I brought the materials for tier 3s. And then finally, we need to power it up. And for power, it's over there on the beach someplace. I don't know where. Just over here somewhere. Can we run power lines into the water? Or should I run it to, like, the beach here, and then across to the beach there? Instead of having one just sitting in the middle of the water. That seems like trouble waiting to happen. I don't mind building these kind of alongside these bridges. These aren't great highway bridges. These are more like service roads here. Feeders, as some people call them. Is this oil? This is also oil right here, so we might end up having things built there. So we'll kind of keep the oil nearby. And then it's just a matter of getting it across here. I'm really having trouble seeing. I'm sure you folks can. These we'll just put in the water to Shrek with it, you know? Should be able to make these two connect. Can't afford! Dadgummit! I didn't craft enough. I crafted some in the back of my vehicle, and I figured I'd crafted enough, but apparently not. And, also you know what? I forgot. Some of them were used in the construction of either the oil pump or the storage container, so that's probably what consumed them. That would make sense. Well, these things happen. What can you do? You know what I mean? There's sometimes in life, you just gotta shrug and go along with what you're presented with. We'll make some more, and then we'll finish this connection. And boom. Okay, it's all connected. Oil pump should be going now. By the time we get back, we'll probably have oil. By the way, I was clever this time. Brought my vehicle, so we can ride it back. I think this water's shallow enough. I think if you don't start swimming in the water, that means the water is probably shallow enough for your vehicle. I don't know that definitively. You can just build a second oil pump right here if we wanted to. Have that pump producing power and have this one over here producing product. And then, you know, might as well get the other three running too. How you doing? Are we pumping oil? Oh, it is oil drums! Oh, look at that! Texas tea! Take it all. Let's go ahead and see if we can start making things with it. Did not mean to do that. Open up the workbench. And what can we make? Or do we need, you know what? We'll probably have to research it before we can start constructing things. Hold on, let me check again. Go back to that crafting bench. And then scroll down to plastic. Oh no, we can start making plastic, we can start making fuel, we can start making rubber. This is great. This is really great. Obviously, automation will need to be done on this. But for now, we can just leave it there to fill that thing up, kind of like we did with the Caterium. We can come back and get more if we need to. We should be able to start working towards getting a monorail up and built. This is already out of fuel. Oh my gosh, you know what we can do? Is we can go in here and we can craft fuel, which is what I thought we needed a refinery for. Maybe the refinery is for automating fuel production. Or maybe you just get better stuff out of it if you do it like that. I'm not particularly sure. Why did I get back in the vehicle? Why did I pause the game? So many questions. Fuel her up. Let's see how she runs on this stuff. Maybe it'll get better gas mileage now that we're actually using gas as opposed to... No, I mean it's not gasoline. It's crude oil straight out of the ground. But you get what I'm saying. I need to put something up here while I'm thinking about it so I don't fly off the edges. If I'm not paying attention, which does happen, you know, next time we come this way. I want to make sure I got some walls up here so we don't end up in the water and lose our vehicle. It would be very inconvenient. At some point, I might try to expand the bridge out that way and see if any of that stuff is accessible. Oh, wait, no, we've been out there before. We know that it is. But isn't that where we die if we get out of our vehicle? So we might actually want to be kind of careful over there. It's an unsafe space. A wee bit of an unsafe space, but I think we can get over there. Or at least that area right there with the falls, potentially. This is still not safe. I think I might end up needing to expand these walls a bit to go more than just like what I'm doing here where they're in the corner and then 3x3, because watch what happens when I get in the vehicle, right? So if I'm in the vehicle and we're approaching this thing at speed, when I start the rotation, it's perfectly conceivable that I might sort of oversteer or understeer. And oh gosh, we need to have walls there too. I need to be doing this stuff while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I've added walls all around this junction, and I think in the future we might put walls alongside every single road, because sometimes this vehicle will just go off and jump to the left by itself for no real reason whatsoever, no discernible reason, and then you're in a real pickle. Oh gosh, see what I mean right there? See what I mean right there? It just starts sliding around the joint. It's an unsafe vehicle, an unsafe manned vehicle. So, yeah, it depends on what we end up doing with monorails, whether or not we end up widening these roads to have the monorails run along the roads, which could make sense, or whether or not we do its own sort of dedicated monorail run. I don't know. What I do want to know right now, has that always just sort of been floating off of the ground and I'm just now noticing it? I should probably fix that. Can I research oil? Oh, here we go. So this completed. We get to choose what we want from that hard drive. So we can create 12 quick wire using copper and deuterium, which is quite a lot of quick wire as opposed to whatever the other recipe was, I'm assuming. Modular frames using steel and reinforced iron plate, I'm not too sure about. I've never had to build a high-speed connector, and I don't know what the high-speed connector recipe is, so I don't know if this is really a huge improvement over it. I did notice also that it does say per minute down here, so it could be that even if some of these don't make sense, like this modular frame one, 6 per minute, maybe that's an improvement over what it would normally be using other materials. High-speed connector sounds like the sort of thing that might be useful to have different recipes for it. I don't know. Let's go with that one, maybe. I just noticed that this is going to require quartz, and I don't even know where to... I mean, we found quartz before, but we never actually automated the process of harvesting and bringing that back, which makes it sound like we're going to have this whole other project in our hands now, going back to wherever I found the quartz before. So it's not interested in the crude oil. No reason to research it. We can go ahead and just throw that next hard drive in there and research that and see what sort of alternative recipes we find. Where did I... Let's see, did we throw down a marker for where the quartz was? Let me check the map. How do you bring up the map? That's not the button. That's also not the button. Is that the button? Drop pod. Okay. Oil. We need to go collect that one. I don't think that one's useful anymore. Nuke. Drop pod. Hide the menu. This is our vehicle. So is that the tractor? Is that up there in the Candyland flop area, I guess? What is this? What's going on there? It was somewhere over here by this nuke where we found the quartz before. We can scan for it again, raw quartz. It was really far away. If there's some closer to where the oil is, or something else that we've already built a bridge to, we might go ahead and just set up a miner there. Yeah, that way. That's probably the one we went to. It's also the closest one. Of the two that are on the map, that is the closer one. That's a project for later. For right now, though, what we want to focus on, at long last, dadgummit, is getting a stinking jetpack. That's going to require that I build 75 computers, which is going to require that I build what? What goes into a computer? Scroll on down to computer. We're going to need some of them. We're going to need 10 of them. And we're going to need 18 of these. But that's just for a single computer. we need 75 computers, which means I'm going to be sitting here clicking an awful lot. And then we need to get rid of conveyor belts over there. No reason for conveyor. I mean, it's just the steel beams. Oh my gosh. They need to refine this so I can type in how many. Okay, I need 750. Oh boy! 1,350 plastic. We have enough for 75 plastic. We can go back and collect, though. We can go back and collect. We can make this happen. And then I don't actually see where to make the circuit board. There it is. So yeah, it also requires plastic. So we need plastic for plastic and plastic for circuit boards. Yeah, that's oof. See, if we go in here, we can type in how many we want, right? I can select 0 of those. I can click plus, and then I can type in 100, you know, if I wanted 2 of those, or I can just remove them all just like that. That's great for the builder menu. You can't do that inside of here, though, right? Like, if I add one of these, you can't click on them over here. You can't click on them over here anywhere. There's no way to... You just have to right-click and remove. And, I mean, I don't think you can alter it from this menu. Bind to hotbar, add to-do list, search. We can do a search? Oh, yeah, look up here. Oh, I didn't notice. And you can then come over here and you can click plus or minus, right? So if you want to move those conveyor belts... Why do I have 100 conveyor? Didn't I remove all of these? Apparently I didn't. Where are those at? Those conveyor belt Mark IIIs? What? Why is... Okay, I'm so confused because it says... Oh, conveyor lift. Oh, my mistake. I didn't even realize that I had... No. Stop. Oh my god, it's all gotten out of control. It's all gotten out of control. 0. I don't want any of these things. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one. We got oil now. Bye!